All right, welcome back to another episode of the TDT podcast. My name is Carter. This is Andrew.
Hi
Um,
guys.
but you all know that already. I don't know why I introduced myself like that. I'm just kind of vibing with it, I don't know. Try something new. But it's not new. Topic of this video because it's part two to the what every NFL team needs in free agency. So this time we will be covering the NFC, I do believe, which is
Yes,
pretty cool.
we will be covering the
So
NFC. And I apologize if
yeah,
my voice sounds really crappy. I am extremely tired right now. Um,
yeah,
and I
man.
don't feel that
See,
great.
I'm used to it.
So
I don't even care at this point. I'm used to it.
so I'm extremely tired. So I apologize if my voice sounds kind of drony and low, but we're just gonna hop right into it. Our first
Hmm.
team up is the Dallas Cowboys. Now we know that Dak got an enormous extension, which is huge for the Cowboys, obviously, but what do they need? What's
Hmm.
their cap space? What's going on?
Well, their cap space is about 3.38 million. Their needs are basically a defense, defensive lineman, linebacker, and corner. So they may or may not. Well, actually, they're not anymore. But when this was written, they may have been not may or may not have been in the market for a quarterback. But they obviously re-signed Dak for, in our opinion, way too much money. Um,
Mhm.
so I guess they're solved in the quarterback department for a little
That is
bit.
true.
But yeah, they need defense. That's really it. Their defense ranked dead last in rushing yards allowed per game.
Yeesh.
So and
That's
24th in pass yards.
that's pretty horrendous.
It is pretty horrendous. I mean, I think the whole reason the Cowboys sucked so much last year is because of their defense. Because with Dak throwing like 500 yards a game, I mean, come on, like
Yeah.
if their defense had been good, like imagine the Cowboys offense last year with the Pittsburgh defense. Like, dude, that's scary.
Super
Dak was
Bowl
going ham.
contenders.
Yeah, honestly, but I mean,
Now
Dak
do
ain't
you
gonna go snap. So
now, now do you think if they get a new defense, do you think that they'll have a record that's better than 8-8?
no, bro, they're the Cowboys. What do
Ah,
you mean?
yes,
What
of
do you
course.
mean better than 8-8? Maybe 8-8-1 because they might be expanding the season, but that's it.
That is true. All right, moving on in the East, the worst division in football, we've got the New York Giants. What do they need? They need a lot. Saquon is returning though. So,
Yeah, good for New York. I'm happy Saquon's returning. It really sucked to see him injured.
and they've got a god in Daniel Jones as a quarterback. So what
Yes,
do they
but
need?
well, they have 18.5 million in cap space right now, and surprisingly, their number one need is a running back. I don't really know
Wow.
about that, but they also need, guess what, an edge rusher and a
Oh,
corner. So big thing from last episode. If you didn't watch it, you should go watch it. Is that literally every team needs an edge rusher apparently.
yes.
So add the Giants to the list because I mean, like, dude,
They don't
they
really
kind of
have
down bad
anybody
right now on
noticeable on
defense.
defense
Yeah,
right now. Like in all
yeah. I
honesty.
mean, they're probably gonna lose Leonard Williams, who's going into free agency,
Mm,
because he was franchise tagged
yeah.
last season. So they might resign him, but I don't really know. They don't have a ton to cap space to work with.
Uh-huh.
Logan Ryan is also um he's probably gonna go to free agency as well.
Yeah, so
So I mean,
basically
dude.
and we're gonna see a continuous pattern here, but a
Hmm.
lot of teams need to work on defense, and the Giants just if they want to be good and compete for the East title, I think they need a defense,
Yeah.
like strong defense, and not just because who is really on the New York Giants defense?
Um.
Exactly. You can't. So
um.
they
I
need
don't.
need a significant leader on that team too. But moving on, the best team in the league, Jalen Hurts, is now starting. That was sarcasm. They're the worst. But Jalen Hurts is now starting at quarterback. That is great for him. I can't wait to see him play. But the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles need a lot. I don't think they're gonna be able to get literally any of it, seeing as they are negative $64 million
Oh
in
my
cap space.
gosh.
But say all that cap space were to disappear, they need a offensive tackle, a wide receiver, and a linebacker. They definitely need a wide receiver. I'd say that is their number one need. They have a good
100%.
base defense. I mean, it's the same base defense that took them to the Super Bowl and sadly won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. um, but we're not gonna get into that. Anyways, yeah, they need I think their biggest need is definitely receivers. Travis Fulgham had a pretty good year.
Yeah,
Jalen Rager. eh,
yeah, he was
eh,
okay.
eh.
He didn't do
He's the
as good
most,
as we thought.
he's all right. He had an okay day. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
mean season. Yeah, bro. They just kind of, they have Jalen Hurts, and that's the only bright spot on the Eagles. If you're an Eagles fan, I feel bad for you. R.I.P.
Mad
EDP.
salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. EDP. Yeah, dude.
If
They're
you know, you know.
yeah, they definitely also need defense too because they had the 23rd ranked ground defense, which is not great.
Oh
So,
yeah. The whole East is
just
down bad right now in the NFC.
they really are, dude. They really are. The Cowboys are gonna be negative $2 million freaking dollars in cap space after the Dak signing, and then the Giants don't have a ton. And then Eagles are negative $64 million.
Yep.
So let's see
They're
what the football team needs then.
down horrendous. Washington football, last
Yeah.
team in the East. I know they have their offense is actually really set, and they have a star running back. Heineke is going to be a good quarterback for this year.
If
Scary,
he's starting next year, dude.
which he will, because if he didn't, it'd be stupid. But
I don't
Scary
know, bro.
receiver, their offense is good. They've got Chase Young leading on the defense. Their defense is pretty solid, and they stood up against Tom Brady in the playoffs. Didn't win, but they
didn't.
They made a good stand. So
they tried their best. I mean, they can't stop Tom Brady. Didn't get the football.
Here's the participation award.
Yeah, they really did get the participation award in the playoffs, but they're actually kind of set. They have $50.6 million cap space, and their main needs are a quarterback, a wide receiver, and an offensive lineman. I strongly agree on the offensive lineman because.
Same.
I mean, they definitely need offensive linemen. Terry McLaurin is superb, but they need a number two. They need a strong number two. Corey Davis. I want him to go to the Patriots, but I'm just saying if Patriots don't get him, Washington football team should get Corey Davis. But they have whatever his name is, Dadian Moss or whatever, the LSU tight end. He's going to be coming back from injury next year, so they'll have a great tight end. They should have a great tight end. But Alex Smith isn't returning to the team. They traded Dwayne Haskins or released him or whatever. So their current quarterback is
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping you were gonna get that.
Taylor Heineke.
Absolute god. Taylor Heineke. So do they get another? They obviously need at least a backup quarterback. But do they start Heineke? Is what I'm saying. There's a lot of quarterbacks on the market right now.
Taylor Heineke.
Cam Newton. Just saying, trade for Cam Newton.
No, but I think Taylor Heineke's set, at least for this season, to be honest. I think they can win.
If he earns a spot. He did good in the playoffs, so you never know. We hope to see Heineke.
That is true.
If Heineke leads the team to the playoffs next year, I will get a Taylor Heineke jersey. I'm not even joking. We will both get one.
Yes, you and me both. All right, next up we'll be moving on to the NFC North. We'll start off with the Chicago Bears. What do the Chicago Bears need?
That is a great question. The Chicago Bears only have $2.6 million in cap space.
Oh boy.
They need a quarterback, a wide receiver, and guess what? An edge rusher. So, yeah. Mick Trubisky. Probably not the move at quarterback for the Bears. Neither is Nick Foles.
I mean, hey, Mitch Trubisky won Nickelodeon MVP.
He did. You're right. So he's I think he's a capable quarterback, and I wouldn't mind him going to the Patriots. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, man.
I don't think they should, and I think the Chicago Bears don't need a receiver because they have Allen Robinson.
Yeah, they just re-signed him.
Yeah, he just got a tag. So
which made me sad.
Yeah, I think they just need to work on their defense because Khalil Mack can't keep up. He's got to have another person.
They just need a pair for him, and they're set, man.
100%. They can easily acquire that through the draft. Moving on, Detroit Lions, absolute trash. So they need a lot. However, they got Jared Goff. So
They did.
that's a plus. However, Kenny Golladay is now a free agent, so we don't know what the
Patriots.
stop it. We don't know what the receiving core is going to be. So, what do the Detroit Lions need?
Well, guess what the Detroit Lions need?
An edge rusher, I suppose.
Correct. I literally don't think there's enough edge rushers in the NFL.
Yes, facts.
Okay, so they only have 1.3 million in space. They need an edge rusher, cornerback, and a linebacker. Patricia's gone, so
Thank goodness.
He's going back. I think he resigned with the Patriots actually.
Hey.
Trey Flowers and Emerson Griffin are good, but they need one more guy, you know?
Yeah, they need backup.
Yeah.
Well, they also need a secondary, because Okuda is not doing.
He's not that good. He surrendered 549 yards and 2 touchdowns in coverage by allowing opponents passer rating of 118, which is pretty good, honestly. So,
yeah.
I mean, he might still, fill out. It's only his rookie season, but I mean, I think they should definitely get him help on the perimeter.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Detroit Lions could actually be a scary team if they were just better.
Meh.
You don't
I think anything. I goes with any team. Any team could be a scary team if they're better. The Jets could be good if they were better. Like, bro.
But you know what I mean. Like, if the slots fill, if they use these draft picks that they acquired with Goff, I think they can really rebuild. Because obviously the Lions are in a rebuilding phase. I mean, they always really have been. But
no, yeah, they've been in a rebuilding phase for like 6 years now.
More like 6D, but yeah. Anyways, moving on, Green Bay Packers. What do they need?
Yes. Well, they have negative 17 million or 18 million, really. They need a wide receiver, a linebacker, and a safety. And I do not agree that they need another wide receiver. They have Devontae Adams. They have Alan Lazard. They have Scantling.
Valdez Scantling. He's good. He's fast.
So Lazard, bro. Lazard's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely need maybe a number 4 receiver. They had Devin Funchess, but he opted out for 2020. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers, they were pretty heavily criticized for not taking a receiver in the draft, and when they took Jordan Love, probably the dumbest decision of the 21st century.
Facts.
Yeah, but their defense, they could use more secondary help and a safety. I forget who the safety is back there that's pretty good, but he's the only one. Whatever his name is, Desmond King needs to be fired on the spot.
Oh my gosh, dude,
that
he's so awful.
So yeah, he's pretty bad. Then another linebacker, Clay Matthews, obviously not even on the team. Well, he hasn't been there for a while, so
yeah.
But yeah, they can acquire all these in the draft though.
I will say I think the Green Bay Packers need a running back because Aaron Jones, so far as we're recording this, has not been re-signed or tagged. So that's gonna be interesting to see if he actually.
They're gonna have AJ Dillon. So
that is true, but at the same time, is he a main running back?
Maybe he can be. He's shown flashes to be pretty good. So
that is true.
We'll see.
All right, moving on. Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota. So they have negative 6.2 million in cap space as well. Their main needs are a quarterback, a corner, and an edge rusher.
Wow, what a surprise.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins. They're basically stuck with Kirk Cousins for another year because he has $41 million of dead money remaining on his contract until 2020. So I don't think a team's going to trade for him. And even if they would trade for him, I don't know why they would trade for him. I mean, he's okay, dude. Like, I don't know. It's Kirk Cousins, bro. Like,
well, not only that, it's just like, because Minnesota said that they were interested in having Kirk Cousins as their QB1 still, and I don't know why.
He's only 32 years old, though.
He's not horrible, but I just don't think he's as good as people thought he was going to be. Has he led them to playoff appearances and wins? Yes, but at the same time, he's horrible on Monday Night Football. And the Minnesota Vikings' record throughout the season is so inconsistent. They really strong.
On 1 week, they can be the best team, and the other they can't beat the Jets. I mean,
exactly.
They have a good young core going on in Justin Jefferson, And then Dalvin Cook, I think, is still pretty young.
Yeah.
They just need defense really. Mackenzie Alexander, Trey Waynes, and Xavier Rhodes, they all left the team. And it's definitely been a struggle replacing them, as we can see, because they're 25th in pass defense.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the NFC South now. We have the Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones has been confirmed that he is staying with them unless a blockbuster trade happens. And we don't know the future of Matt Ryan. So what do the Falcons need?
I'm honestly kind of surprised that Julio is staying, seeing as the Falcons are negative $25 million in cap space.
Okay.
But they need an edge rusher, corners, and a running back.
They do need
I agree with all. Yeah, they definitely do.
I agree with that. Todd Gurley's not getting it done. Bro, he literally scored to lose a game. Like, that's how you know. That's how you know.
I mean, he's been mediocre. He's a starter in the NFL. That's about it.
True.
I mean,
I want to see Julio. Like, no offense to the Falcons, but I want to see Julio go to a different team. He's so good. He's so good, and he has not been shining. The Falcons can't use him.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
Yeah, maybe go to like the Steelers or something, and then we'll talk. But
or the Patriots.
I don't think either of those are
right.
Yeah. Sure. All right, what do the Carolina Panthers need? Moving on from the Falcons. Carolina doesn't really know their quarterback situation in Teddy Bridgewater, and they have some star receivers. So if they and then Christian McCaffrey is coming back for this season. A lot of players coming back from injury, which is really exciting. But what do the Carolina Panthers need?
Well, they need
edge rusher.
Yep. A corner and a tight end. So they have $26.4 million in cap space. They selected only defense in the draft, and they had Jeremy Chin, who is amazing, by the way. Was a contender for defensive defensive rookie of the year or whatever. I don't know what it's called. One of the awards. But yeah, sorry. There's still plenty of room in improvement. They're 15th against the run and 21st against the pass. So the quarterback situation, I think Teddy Bridgewater. Sorry, I cannot talk to that dude. It's so weird. Teddy Bridgewater is a capable quarterback, and I think they should honestly stick with him for at least another few more years, so that they build more cap, and then they can go get a star-powered guy.
I agree.
Like maybe Deshaun Watson next season. Just look out.
I think Teddy Bridgewater is low-key underrated. People say that he's not doing well, but I really think that Teddy Bridgewater can succeed if he has a well-built team around him. So Carolina's probably in the rebuilding phase at the moment. I think they're doing well. I just see them in a couple of years, and we'll see. I don't think they'll get to the point where it was the 2015 dominant season with Cam Newton again anytime soon. But I really hope that they get some foundation around Bridgewater so he can thrive, because I really like him as a quarterback. Moving on, this is a very strange team to be discussing, because we don't know what's going to happen with this offense, because the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees, has not officially announced his retirement yet, but we can pretty much infer that he's going to retire. It makes me sad that he's going out the way that he is. I wish he would win another Super Bowl, but knowing the Saints and choking in the playoffs every year, I don't think that's going to happen. However, Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill as quarterback positions, yet they still are looking for a quarterback. So what do the New Orleans need? How would they use their cap space?
So they don't have cap space, seeing as they're at negative $95.1 million.
Sounds like the Saints.
Yeah. So they need a quarterback, they need a running back, and they need a tight end.
They don't need a running back. They have Alvin Kamara.
I don't. It's just the list. I'm just going off the list. But
wrong. The list is wrong.
Breeze is 41. He might return for one last run, but he is according to Adam Schefter, whatever his name is, Breeze is quote unquote likely to retire at the end of the season. He hasn't yet, but I mean,
it's mostly inferred that he will.
Yeah, and if he doesn't retire, I don't think he's going to be starting, or at least maybe not starting. You know what I mean? Like, I think he'll have a much more reserved role in the team as maybe like a mentor to a young
100%.
Jameis
100%.
Winston. They have Taysom Hill, who's, by the way, contracted way too big for what he's worth. It's like $16 million or something.
Actually, he's a god and an absolute stud.
I
And
mean,
he
he's
will-
okay, bro. Like, he's not worth $16 million. I'm sorry, he's not. I wouldn't pay $16 million for Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't either.
yeah, he's a Swiss Army knife, but Swiss Army knives are pretty freaking cheap, bro. They're like $50. I don't know how much does Swiss Army knife go for. How much does? Yes, I am looking this up. A Swiss Army knife go for? See, yeah, so about $2,000. They're paying $16 million for one. Dude, relax.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Taysom Hill, he's good, but he does not need it. He doesn't have really a spot. Now that with Jameis Winston, I say being the clear starter.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they need a receiver, which I think they can get in the draft probably.
Emmanuel Sanders has been released, so
Mhm.
we'll have to see what they do with that also. I think that Michael Thomas will be back this year. I think he'll do well, slant boy. As much as he gets clowned, though, I think that he is a good receiver, and I think that he will help this offense a ton. They've got a good tight end in Jared Cook, solid offensive line. Alvin Kamara is a receiving back and running back. I think that I think the Saints will be just fine. And if Breeze does retire, I want to see a bright future for this new squad led by hopefully a successful Jameis Winston. But you'll never know.
I hope it's Jameis Winston. If it's Taysom Hill, I'm gonna be kind of pissed. That's stupid.
Same.
That shouldn't be Taysom Hill.
Moving on, the best team from last season and the Super Bowl winners, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have a very stacked squad. Chris Godwin has officially been franchise tagged along with a defensive back, I believe, on the team, and there's a lot of stars on this team. So, how much cap space do they have, if any?
Well, they have $31.7 million.
All right, it's not negative 90 mil like the Saints, so that is good.
I am perplexed by this. It says they need a quarterback. They don't need a quarterback.
They have the best
freaking Brady.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, this list. If you're watching these two episodes, don't take anything for granted because this list, whoever made this list, is smoking crack. Okay, you can see anything. But apparently they need a quarterback. They need an offensive tackle and a pass rusher. I honestly don't think they really need any of this. Maybe
I don't think they do either.
Like, bro, Tom Brady's definitely gonna be back. Okay, like it's not even a question at this point. He's back. Brady's back. They don't need a quarterback. I mean, like, dude, no. They don't need a quarterback. So yeah, I think the Bucs are really set. And what people ask is like, oh, how the Bucs go to the Super Bowl? They have so many star power players on them. It's because their quarterback doesn't take a $500 million contract.
Exactly.
Brady's played $25 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's why you don't. I don't get it. The Chiefs are gonna fall off because Mahomes is getting so much money. They can't pay a guy like that.
They can't pay anybody.
When do you learn? Brady's done this every year where he doesn't take as much money as he deserves because he knows, like, if he takes $100 million contract. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just like threw my core for some reason. My bad. But if he takes $100 million contract, they're not gonna be able to pay Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They're not gonna be able to pay his guys.
Exactly.
He's done this every year, and they win every year.
Exactly.
It's almost crazy. Wow. When will other NFL teams take up on this and stop being selfish, dude? Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying with Dak. Like the Cowboys, they had a chance if Dak had just signed for $40 million, which I think was too much, and he signed for $160. What the, dude? That's like $120 million more than you said you were going to sign for, dude.
Facts.
Where did that come from? Where are the Cowboys finding to pay this guy, dude?
I don't know. Jerry Jones pulled some money out of his butt.
Bro, for real. The Cowboys, they only have $33.8 million in cap space. Like, whatever his name is, he's getting paid like $10 million a year for the next 10 years.
Facts.
They say they have 23 million.
In conclusion, Tampa Bay doesn't need anything. I don't know what they're going to do with the draft, honestly. Probably get like a new punter or something. But
left tackle.
Yeah, facts. Edge rusher, apparently. But I think
Yeah.
the Bucs are set. Moving on, the best division and the last division in this episode, the NFC West. We'll start out with Arizona Cardinals. Big news, obviously. They signed J.J. Watt. We've already discussed this in a previous episode, so if you haven't watched that episode, go watch it because it's a banger. But anyways, they've got D-Hop, J.J. Watt, Kyler Murray, who I really believe in, even though he's only like 5'8".
Yes, Sam.
So how much cap space do they need, and who do they need?
Well, they have $24.9 million in cap space. They need a tight end, apparently a running back. But guess what? They do not dude, I cannot talk. Oh my god. Okay, guess what? They do not need anymore.
An edge rusher.
Because they got J.J. Watt. So they do no longer need an edge rusher, which is great. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it really. They quality tight end to make maybe whatever his name is, Kyler Murray a little bit more comfortable. I would say maybe a more blocking tight end because whatever his name is, Dan Arnold. He just really isn't getting it done. He's allowed like 4 sacks, which is pretty bad. But Kenyon Drake is he's probably he was okay. Kenyon Drake was franchise tagged this year. So, I mean, he's not an elite running back. I don't think they're going to resign him. So, I don't know, bro. They need a running back and a tight end.
I'm not sure. Well, also another thing is that they got rid of Patrick Peterson, I believe, or they had to let him go because they didn't have enough cap space to re-sign him. So I think they need somebody to replace him also. But I think you can pick that up in the draft. That's not a huge problem. All right, moving on. Los Angeles Rams with Matthew Stafford, which is going to be so incredible to watch. You've got Aaron Donald, the best defensive end in the league. You've got Jalen Ramsey. I mean, their defense is so good. Their offense, you got Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford now leading the squad. So what do you think about that?
Well, they have a negative cap space as well in the form of $18.5 million. It's not the worst, but not nowhere near the best. They need an offensive tackle, quarterback, which I guess they no longer need because they signed whatever his name is, Matthew Stafford, and a corner. I do agree with the corner because they have Jalen Ramsey, but that's about it.
That is true.
So they need another guy. They need another guy.
I agree.
For sure.
I feel like if those holes can be filled in Los Angeles, could be a serious Super Bowl contender. Straight up. I want to see Matthew Stafford win a Super Bowl because Matthew Stafford is so underrated and so slept on. I really hope he does well. I'm praying on it. I think Los Angeles can go far though. Like last season, I think they're capable 100%. They just got to be smart with their draft picks, and I think they'll be good. San Francisco 49er. Wait, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna. Oh yeah, okay. So I just had this theory pop into my head. Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, the Patriots. Everything with the Patriots.
Stephon Gilmore for Cooper Kupp.
No.
That means no. Hear me out. Jalen Ramsey and Stephon Gilmore. Imagine that combo.
It would be dead.
Cooper Kupp, maybe like a later draft pick. Just saying. Just saying. I'll leave it at that. I'm just saying.
Okay, yeah, okay. But moving on, the San Francisco 49ers, dude, so many of their players were hurt or out of COVID for this year. They were plagued with injuries. What do they need? And do you think Jimmy G will leave for the Patriots this season? Because rumors are popping up about that. So, what do they need? Well,
they need a quarterback. They need an offensive tackle and a corner. So, Jimmy G, honestly, he could stay for another year. It's not far to see. He is a capable quarterback. There's been a lot of talks that he's going to go back to the Patriots, which I'd be happy to see. They need an offensive tackle, because they just need one. And they need a corner. So yeah, that's honestly pretty much it, really. Richard Sherman is old.
That is true.
And Jason Ferret is going to become a free agent, as is Richard Sherman also. So, I mean, and their quarterback situation, who's going to fill in for Garoppolo if he does leave? Nick Mullins?
No.
No, not Nick Mullins.
No.
Gosh, man. So
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that I feel like if the 49ers get healthy, I mean that's what everybody says is that if the 49ers are healthy, they'll do super well. And I agree. I think that um we need to see the healthy squad, see who's starting. Then we can make a prediction about what they need. Because if Jimmy G's staying, they don't need a quarterback. I'd still get a backup quarterback in the draft because in case he does leave, get hurt, etc., etc.
yeah,
I would get a quarterback still. And honestly, it depends on how high they are and who's taken. But I'd look for someone like a draft prospect that's pretty freaking high for a quarterback. But I would definitely say, yeah, they need some work on defense. Richard Sherman getting old. So, I mean, it will be interesting to see them going forward. But yeah, I think that just use the cap space well and use your draft picks just to fill in those tiny holes. I feel like with a healthy squad, the 49ers can still do pretty well, possibly make the playoffs, but we'll have to see.
I mean, they were in the Super Bowl like 2 years ago, so
That
it's
is
not
true.
that far-fetched.
All right, last team for this episode and for this mini series, whatever you want to call it. The Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson has been thinking about going to a different team, but a lot of people say he won't. Now, it's tough because the offensive line for Seattle is just absolutely horrendous. So I know they need an offensive line. However, they do not need receivers. They have DK Lockett. They've got a solid receiving core for Wilson to throw to if Wilson decides to stay. However, the Seahawks defense is so horrendous that it essentially loses games. Now, it depends. Bobby Wagner, he's getting really old. KJ Wright, he's getting really old. They need replacements for these guys. So, how much cap space do they need? And,
sorry.
And, I was going to say, and who do they need?
Well, they have 15.9 million, so a little wiggle room. They need an edge rusher, corners, and a running back. So if Russell Wilson leaves, which I don't think he will, I think he's talking like he's gonna leave, but I don't think he's gonna leave. They got Carlos Dunlap, but I'm pretty sure they just released him. I'm not gonna lie, I think they just released him. I'm not sure though, like don't quote me on that. But have one-handed boy Shaquille Griffin, Nico Thrope, and Quentin Dunbar. So I don't know, dude. They definitely need the Legion of Boom is no longer the Legion of Boom at all. Nowhere near the Legion of Boom.
Unfortunate as
it's
it
just
is.
The Legion of crap.
Yeah.
So, dude, I think the Seahawks are really in a bad place right now. If they don't appease Wilson, I'm predicting they don't make the playoffs next year. I'm dead serious. I don't think they're making the playoffs next year if they don't. If Wilson.
I don't think so either.
Even if he does play, I don't know if they're making the playoffs next year. Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde are both becoming free agents, most likely. Rashard Penny is on the roster, but he hasn't really done that much yet.
He hasn't.
I mean, I don't know, man. Seahawks are down bad. We need to get Noah back on the podcast to talk about that. I know he has some opinions on that, so.
Yeah, maybe we can make an episode. Maybe something can happen.
Maybe.
But yeah, I don't think Seattle is. I mean, I think Seattle is down bad, but especially if Wilson leaves, unless they can make some blockbuster trade for like Deshaun Watson. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I think that the Seahawks. I don't think they need to rebuild. I just think they need to focus on really what their team is missing instead of focusing on Russell Wilson. Because at the end of the day, Russell Wilson's going to stay. I might have just jinxed that, but Russell Wilson will stay. But you know that he might not be the happiest he is, but get him on a team, get him a defense that can really win games. And get him an offensive line so he doesn't have to scramble so far back in the pocket. I think that he can actually succeed like he used to, like his dominant play style that we've always been used to seeing him play as. So I really hope that the Seahawks do well. I've always liked the Seahawks. Like I don't hate their team. I always want them to do well, but I don't know if this coming up season is their year by any means. I think we're just gonna have to see what they do with the draft picks and hopefully not pull a Green Bay Packer move and draft a backup quarterback Huge for the next 3 years.
I'm so surprised Aaron Rodgers like stayed after that, bro. I would have been
Facts,
like, nah,
honestly.
this organization's crap. I'm out. Bye.
Yeah. I don't really understand it either, but it is what it is. Hopefully the Seahawks don't make the same mistake as their division rivals.
Yeah. But yeah, that concludes it. That's every team, right?
That is every team. All 32.
Woo.
Woo!
Yeah, that's cool. So we covered all 32 teams, what every team needs. We hope we gave you guys some good information. I hope you can understand what I was saying because I'm sorry, but
if you know, you know.
Yeah. But a little announcement: there's gonna be no uploads next week. So this is going live Friday. So, yeah. So next week there will be no uploads.
Yeah,
because Andrew is going on spring break.
Yeah.
To Disney World, and I'll just be sitting here at Single Mountain alone doing my freaking school because it's have spring break till like April 3rd. So I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at the TDT Podcast. And yeah, we'll catch you all later. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye bye.